There only Bhishma's conch and no other details given. And here he deliberately rubs in, I could hear Ananta Vichaya, eternal victory. I could hear it, and every other person. And all these people are blowing their conch and their kettle drums, etc. I could hear them distinctly. And the sound which created was so deep and intense that really shattered the Kauravas. Continuing. 1920 and first line of 21.
Sakoshodartarashranam Sakoshodartarashranam Hridayani Vyadarayat Nabascha Prithivim Chaiva Tumulo Vyanunadayan Atavyavastitan drishtva Dhartarashtran kapidvajaha Pravritte shastra sampate Dhanurudyamya pandavaha Hrishikesham tada vakyam Idamaha mahipate.
The sound of the conch went reverberating across, resounding across the sky. The noise which came out really pierced the hearts of Dhartarashtra. Dhritarashtra's children, basically they were all quite scared by the kind of a response the Pandavas gave to the call which the Kauravas started. They gave a war cry, and equally here people started responding. And the response was such that it was a tumultuous noise which pierced the heart of these Kauravas. They probably did not expect such a huge response would come. And now he says, Mahipate, O king, to Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya is saying, O king. Then at that moment, everyone is ready with their arrows. It's about to start. All set, conches are blown. People must have taken their position and the arrows would have come out, about to shoot at that point of time. When they were all ready to do, Arjuna, who was moving with a flag of Hanuman, Kapidvaja. Here Sanjaya gives a very specific description that Arjuna seated in a chariot which had Hanuman as his flag. This is also a beautiful thing to remember. We somehow lost a few things of the past. India has a flag. Every state has a particular symbol. Like that, in the past, every warrior, every individual had a flag. There are two flags, the big one and a small one. The big one is Dvaja, small one is Pataka. Two flags. One, the country you represent, and the other one is the personal flag. I think this is something we should attempt once again. Make your personal flag. it can be very motivating. It can be a symbol in your altar in puja room. It can be something you can stick in your in the walls. It can be something you can wear, probably in your hand. That flag, generally across the world, flag represents victory. Keep the flag flying high means you stay on top, don't come down. Flag represents victory, and that which we want to achieve and see ourselves victorious, that can be made as a flag. We did this a couple of times with our Balvihar children, etc. Tried to tell them, make your own flag. Your nation flag one side in your own table, another side your personal flag. Why that? It reminds. Ganesha had a flag. Vishnu had a flag. Lord Muruga had a flag. Gods had a flag. Arjuna's flag, Hanuman. Now, what a level of motivation that is. What a symbol you keep on top. An ideal like Hanuman, please think. Somebody like Hanuman, if you see, whether it is path of knowledge, path of devotion, path of action, Hanuman is a role model. Swami Vivekananda said we should keep him as a national hero. Very beautiful way of looking. Make Hanuman a national hero. A role model to emulate. Strength, discipline, self-control, courage, wisdom. You see the qualities. And if that is the flag, what is the ideal you're trying to reach? So, a personal flag can be a very, very motivating, inspiring symbol to constantly remind us, I should move forward. So here, Arjuna's flag was Hanuman, and he saw the Kauravas about to shoot. At that time he saw, and he raised his bow and spoke to Krishna the following words. He told Krishna,
Arjuna uvacha Arjuna uvacha Senayorubhayor madhye Senayorubhayor madhye Ratam stapaya mechuta Ratam stapaya mechuta Yavadeta niriksheham Yavadeta niriksheham Yetu kamanavastitan Yodu kamanavastitan Kairmaya sahayodavyam Kairmaya sahayodavyam Asmin ranasamudyame Asmin ranasamudyame Yotyamananaveksheham Yotyamananaveksheham Yayetetra samagataha Yayetetra samagataha Datarashtrasya durbudrehe Datarashtrasya durbudrehe Yuddhe priyachikishavaha Yuddhe priyachikishavaha. Arjuna Vacha, the hero of Gita, comes now. So far was only a preparation, and now the man of this book, Arjuna, is being introduced. Arjuna spoke. So before we go into the details of this verse, let us see what this means so that this chart can be very handy in understanding certain subtle factors of Vedanta. Here, right there on top, you see the Om. Om is the life principle in all of us. In you, in me, in the plant, in the animal, in the bird, in the insect, in a tree, it is the same. The life in you, the life in me, the life in a plant or an animal is just one life. There are not many lives. One life expresses itself in many forms. Let's understand that clearly. It is just one life. It is not that there is a separate life in me and a separate life in you. There are separate expressions, but life is one. So this Om represents that life. How do I understand? Like the bubbles and the waves in the ocean, there can be many waves. There can be many bubbles in the ocean. Water is the same. Water alone expresses as a wave, as a bubble. So Om is one, the touch of life, what we call as the Atman. The expression of it we can understand as pure consciousness. It is the same in all of us. But then there is such a vast difference in our appearances and in our thinking. That's because we have entertained a variety of desires. So these are, the we here is called vasana, impressions. Deep impressions in us, they express as desires. So we come into this world carrying these deep impressions, vasana. Vasana, easy to understand, would be like when we eat something. You wash the hand, and still the smell of what you ate could be there in the hand. Action is over, washed away, but there is that smell still there. It takes some more time for it to go. Why? The food had made such a deep impression in the hand. Even after washing, a layer of that smell or fragrance stays back. So vasana is like that. Action performed, action could be over, but the impression goes deep inside. That kind of collective impressions expresses itself as desires. So vasanas are deep impressions in us. Then we have a body, mind, intellect. This is gross, these two are subtle. Sthula and Sukshma. And deep impressions, vasanas, are the cause. My thinking is different from the way in which you think. Your thinking is so different from the way in which somebody else thinks. So in the Sukshma Sharira, we see a variety of different expressions caused by this. So Karana Sharira, Sthula Sharira, gross body, Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. So touch of life expresses itself as causal body or vasanas through gross body and subtle body, mind and intellect. So gross body perceives objects through eyes, ears, nose, taste, touch, etc. 5 senses. Through 5 senses which are there in the body, we perceive objects. And those objects which we perceive makes an impact in the mind. Therefore, our mind feels different emotions. So BMI, body, mind, intellect. Body perceives objects. Mind feels emotions. Intellect thinks thoughts. So when you see, mind feels various emotions. Once the body makes a contact to the world outside, there are reactions here. Those reactions the mind feels, nice, not nice, good, not good, happy, unhappy,
various feelings are there. And the intellect, which is slightly subtler to the mind, because this makes the decision, should I not? Because there are different thoughts in the mind, but a decision has to be made based on those thoughts. So it is the intellect which decides. So the intellect thinks, thoughts. Now in the process, what has happened, we have this equipment called body, mind and intellect. We have an equipment. We are not the equipment. We have. We have, we are not the equipment. We have. So we have a body, mind and intellect. Identifying with it, because the body continuously feels objects, the mind continuously feels emotions, the intellect continuously thinks of thoughts. This has become very active because of this identification. So therefore, today if you ask, who are you? Our very honest expression would be, I am the perceiver, feeler and thinker. I perceive objects, I feel emotions, I think thoughts. Very naturally, we would identify with this. This becomes the individualized ego. Perceiver, feeler. So the body, mind, intellect perceives, feels and thinks of objects, emotions and thoughts. Constantly this is happening. The entire study of Gita, the Upanishads and the Vedanta is only one thing. They want to drive only one point. These are not you. This is you. This is you. None of these are you. This is what they want to convey. Now, Arjuna Vacha we saw, where Arjuna says, take my chariot to the middle of the battlefield. Senayor Ubayor Madhye. To the middle of the battlefield, take my chariot, place my chariot at the middle of the battlefield. And Arjuna addresses Krishna, first time in the Gita. And he addresses him as Achyuta. Sanjaya has addressed him earlier, Madhava, etc. But here, Arjuna is addressing, and that's very important. Arjuna is calling Krishna, take the chariot to the middle of the battlefield. Hey Achyuta. This is very important. Chuta means one who has fallen down. From here, we have fallen down to the body, mind and intellect, our identification, we have fallen down. Achyuta means one who has not fallen down.